Mate, I'm on the Hans.
Oh, another beer, mate. Can't you drink a different beer, mate? What are you, sponsored by 9 companies?
Oh, yeah, promoting Han again. Everyone? Thanks for tuning in. Right in the middle, we're taking the piss out of each other about what beer we're drinking.
Talking about turkey shooting.
Welcome, fellas. Thanks for joining us this afternoon, and certainly this afternoon over there. It's still only bloody 4 o'clock in the afternoon over there in West Aussie. Hope you're going well. All the bloody, all the Vics down there, the Mexicans, Pete, it's 7 o'clock down there. In half an hour, they'll be ready for bed. They go, Buck, hurry up and get off. We've got to go to bed before the sun goes down there in Victoria. Hope everyone's well. So
cheers all. Thanks for popping in.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Buck.
Yeah.
No, that's good. Bloody appreciate you coming on. I did, for those out there in the comment section, everyone, I did ask Pete and Cam if they wanted to be part of the 12-hour thing, but I gave them late notice and they had other stuff on, but I do appreciate you coming on afterwards, guys. It was bloody. And tonight we get to have a decent chat with you. Like half an hour goes too fast on that thing. I'll tell you what, that was a good live feed. 12 hours. She was a long day. But
jeez, boy, well done.
Speak to some interesting people. Hey, I want to. Here we go. I told you there's a few poms on. Where is he? I just saw it.
Plus, you did have us on the graveyard shift.
Yeah, you did.
It was 1 to 2 a.m., wasn't it?
Yeah, I'll take come on live, which is 3 a.m. your time. Andy, where'd he go? There he is.
You said you were going to block all the bombs.
Andy's on over there in the UK, and we've also, fellas, good on
you. So good.
We're also got Mike Blakely on from Colorado in the USA, fellas. So how good is it, technology and that? We've got people in the UK, people in the USA. Here I am hosting a thing in Queensland. You guys are on the west coast of Australia. Just incredible what we can do now with the internet and technology and that, mate. And just brings everyone together. It's absolutely fantastic, isn't it?
It is amazing. This is heaps quicker than the last time we did it as well. Last time it was quite a lag.
Was there? Okay.
At my house. Yeah.
Oh, Pete hadn't paid his internet bill, but
no, it was at my house. I live out in the sticks.
Oh,
that's that hourly phone network.
Although this is showing up my redness more.
Yeah. So here we are on a Monday. I am tipping. Cam, we know that now you're doing your YouTube stuff as a full-time gig. We'll probably talk a little bit about that later on, mate. Pete, Monday afternoon, you already got a few shelters downrange. Have you thrown the trowel down for the year, mate, and Christmas holidays?
No, end of this week, actually. So Friday we knock off on the 20th and then going back to work on the 13th. So I got 3 weeks off, Buck. Bloody lucky, mate. It's really good. So
did you go this morning, did you, and do a few hours?
Yeah, 100%. So this full week, I'm doing this full week. You know, throw in a 25-hour week. You know, it's hard over here, mate.
Pete's got that work-life balance worked out so well. I'll ring him at like midday after I've just woken up, and he's already knocked off work every day.
I'll be echoing like I'm on the toilet when I'm speaking.
Every time.
But how good is it, Pete? And that was the whole idea of you going the next step with your YouTube channel, mate, so that you can take your foot off the accelerator when it comes to your trade, mate. And let's face it, it's not an easy job. Being a brickie, you're out in the sun. It's hard labouring work, mate. And I know you'll downplay it a bit, but it's a bloody hard job, mate. And I think it's absolutely fantastic that you've found a bit of a balance now. And remember you saying on the interview you did with Paul the other day that you still love bricklaying. You still do, but you want to take your foot off the accelerator a bit. And the YouTube life has given you a bit of a balance, mate.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, you would say that it's hard, but there's other trades that are much harder. But I'll tell you what, like it even comes down to the builder I'm working for. I've been working with them for like 7 years full time. You know, shout out bloody Dan Mar Homes, absolute legends. All the supervisors, I've worked with them for a long time. They know my situation. They know that I've got the channel. So they know that I'm sort of gone. You know, I'll come in, start at 6, and I'm gone by 12:30, 1 o'clock. because I got shit to do in the arvo, and they're fine with it. They're like they're really understanding about it. But shit, Buck, there's not many other jobs where you can earn quite good money, especially now. Touch wood, brickies are earning quite good money, and I think it's because no prick wants to do the job. I mean, on the hot days, it is a prick of a job, but then also you're your own boss. I'm not trying to downplay, but if it's too hot, you're walking around like a bloody zombie. Why not just let's get our money earned and let's get out of here. You know what I mean? Stick smoko, get our money earned, get out of here. I'm lucky as shit.
You're also really lucky to work with your best mate. I
Yeah,
don't
the
know
old
if
man.
he works with his dad.
Yeah.
I reckon that's the dream. That
It is.
quality time together. It's wicked.
And we've had bigger teams in the past. We've had bigger bricklaying teams in the past, and the stress is not bloody worth it at all. You got guys asking for subs, guys not rocking up. It is not worth it. Two of yous, I've got my best mate, my dad there, more reliable than anyone I could ever, rely on.
Yeah.
I'm living the dream, mate. I'm loving it. I truly am. And plus, I've got to try and, I can't just drink these beers. I need something to half offset it,
Well, you got to you work hard and you deserve a beer. Mate, if you don't mind me asking, how old's Dad?
Dad is 71, and it is insane, mate. He looks like younger than I do. He's so fit. He does like sit-up challenges, still jogs every night, plays tennis. He's incredible. Honestly, he reckons, Buck, I think I've spoken to you about it before. He reckons if I stop, I'll decay. I'll die.
It's what's kept it young, isn't it?
100%, man. 100%. Looking after me, mate. Gets him old too.
Bloody tough man, mate. Tough man to be still bricklaying.
He's a good man, truly.
He's obviously pacing himself now, but at the end of the day, if you've got a contract there to lay bricks for a builder, you've got to do the job, mate. You know what I mean? You've still got to do the job.
Yeah, 100%. But the good thing is, it's like that's where we're lucky. We get given, like you say, a contract. This is what it's worth. It's up to you when you get it done, but we're only paying you that amount.
Yeah, okay. What kind of bricks are you laying, Peter? The little red bricks, or you're into the Besser blocks now, or what?
No, every now and then we'll lay the standard bricks. Those standard bricks are great. They're beautiful. They're the little, about that size. But no, they're called a Florentine over here. They're the bigger, the two course Florentine bricks. They're mainly what we lay, and then the maxi bricks inside. But no, they're good, pretty good. But the old man reckons, when they come at it, he goes, no, I hated them because they're susceptible to wind as well,
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Are they the ones that look like sandstone or limestone or whatever?
Spot on. Yeah, spot on.
Mate, I see so many houses when I was with Lauren at Bustleton, mate, built out of those, and they look good. They really
do. When they're done right, they look bloody good.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Don't pretty much all the new houses have like a face brick as well? So they have those small ones out the front?
Oh, it's whatever the client chooses. It's like you can have a feature face brick.
Yeah.
You can also have the 50 mil biscuit bricks.
Oh, yeah.
The little, what are they called? I've forgotten what they're called, but no, it's just a feature. But those two course Florentines, they use them because they're cheaper, they're faster. You know what I mean?
Someone did ask in the comments, are you going to build my house? And I wasn't going to ask you, but seeing as though it's already there.
Yeah.
We'll get into it after.
We'll talk prices later on. It's nothing.
Hey, Pete, I remember you saying that you don't have a labourer. Like, who mixes all your slurry up? Do you and Dad doing it all yourself, mate? Carting
we just take turns at it. Just take turns. It's just not like he does it mostly though. So I'm laying bricks pretty much all the time, and the old man will labour and also jump on the line as well. It's insane, Buck. Honestly, he's insane.
You were saying you've had labourers and they struggle to keep up with you guys, eh?
Like, I'm not being a dick. Not me. It's pretty much the old man. He's the fastest bricklayer I know. Like, it's like watching an artist. It truly is, dude.
I keep threatening to do a day's labouring for him because I just want to see what they do. I wouldn't have a clue about the industry, but he reckons.
Bucko nearly just fell off his seat.
I know. He reckons I won't last till Smoko and I'll get kicked off site.
DTR down the road.
Yeah. What's your workers' comp like?
I've seen you I've seen you on some videos, Pete, and you're like red as a beetroot, and you've got the big sunny, look like a panda bear, like big sunny things. Like you can tell you're out in the sun, mate.
That's all the sun. I promise. It's not 10 cans.
Wait, do you remember around this time last year? I went out with Pete and his family on the boats on the Swan River, like a bit of a Christmas wind-up type thing. And I'd been in the sun for way too long. I'd had a few beers, and I've got that sort of English skin. I get really, really burnt really easily, no matter how much sunscreen I put on. So I'm rooting around his boat looking for some more sunscreen, and all he's got is that zinc, the Shane Warne cricket zinc. Yeah. And I've never used that stuff. I don't even know how to put it on. So I've just masked it like all over my face. I've had quite a few beers, and I get back to the boat ramp, and I've called an Uber from this real sketchy, dark boat ramp at about midnight.
I need to add one thing. It's like whenever you're out all day and you're sweating into this zinc, it gets all caked up. Like, picture the Joker.
Yeah, exactly. And this poor young girl, like 19, 20-year-old Uber driver, rocked up to pick me up. And she wouldn't unlock the door and let me in because I'm standing in the dark at this boat ramp looking like I'm in fancy dress as a ghost or something.
Heavy breathing because of the 9 rums that he'd had an hour before. Hello. Have you had a great night? Season's greetings.
I'm just letting you know, sir, that I record every passenger, okay? As she's snapping photos of me just in case.
Oh, that's funny. That is how good is the Swan River, but what a beautiful
so good
for a city to be. You have a look at the Brisbane River, and I know they do cruises and that up there. That Swan River's spectacular. Like it's just, and I said to you on the podcast recently, Pete, Perth is a beautiful city. You're very, very lucky you live over there. It's just how clean is like when you're actually in the city, where the bell tower and all that is. How clean is it, mate? It's
so well set up too.
I think it is. Yeah, I think it's. You'd think that taking a boat out there, you'd think you'd be, daunting, because you see the ferries crossing and shit.
Yeah.
But it's well managed, and I think even in the city there'd be a bit of ocean. Do you think there'd be a bit of ocean water coming through?
Absolutely.
Yeah, beautiful.
Because it's not that far out for
No, it's not, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's really well set up. Even for for recreational boaters, I wouldn't have a clue what I'm doing in a boat. I'm still figuring it out. And even I've got the confidence to go right into the heart of the city and pull up at the bell tower, and there's all the pubs around there. Wow. You can get ice cream for the kids. The lights are on at night. It's a wicked setup.
It is, isn't it? It's a nice cruise, a nice way to fill out an afternoon.
Yeah.
The amount of times that I reckon I've navigated on the way home with no lights, in pitch black. I reckon I could do it nearly with my eyes closed. I know every corner. It's so good.
At 5 knots, of course.
Besides the sandbank,
5 knots.
Besides the sandbank there at Point Walter, is there many sandbanks in the river?
There's a few around, yeah.
Come on, mate.
I was just going to
tell that story.
Which one?
Sandbank at Como.
Oh, like I said, I'm pretty new to boating, and I'm just sort of figuring it out.
Yeah, there's one sandbank. He found it
at full speed, wide open throttle. It was one of the first times I'd had my little tinny out in the Swan River, and near it's Mount Henry's Bridge there, isn't it?
Yeah, spot on.
Yeah, there's a bridge. Yeah, and what's the pub there? It's not the Como. It's
the Raffles.
Raffles Hotel. And it overlooks that section of Mount Henry's and the underpass and that section of the river there on the Swan. And me and my mate Brad were in my tinny, and it's 8 knots to go underneath this overpass, and then once you're clear of it, it's wide open throttle and you can cruise along. Anyway, thanks, Charlene. Anyway, I'm cruising along at wide open throttle, and I didn't realise that I've missed them. I'm way off from the markers, and my little tinny doesn't draw much. It's floating on top of the water, but there's mussels and stuff, like these big rocks full of mussels that are this deep, and I've hit them at full speed. And my mate Brad's just about gone over the boat. I've gone flying. The motor's stalled and come flying up. It was pretty hectic. No. And then better than that, so people at the raffles are yelling at us and laughing and shouting from way back there.
Watch out!
And I've got to go past them to get back to the boat ramp. So I waited for about half an hour thinking surely most of them have left. I finally get the confidence up to go back. And as we're cruising under this underpass, right near this hotel where they've been heckling us, I'm like, Brad, we might as well just pull up here and flick a few lures around the pylons. I flicked one lure. It's gone over the overpass. It's stuck on the railing. Some lady's untying it and throwing it back to me. I've drifted onto the sandbar. I'm like, Brad, get off the boat and push us off this sandbar. He falls into the drink. It was just a disaster. And there's like 30 blokes up at the bar, howling with laughter, crying with laughter, heckling us.
At least you're entertaining people, mate.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, mate.
God, there's some good comments coming up. I'm spewing. I'm missing them all.
Well, I don't know. Let's
God damn shame.
I admit I am the worst fisherman on YouTube. Pete, you've caught a couple of fish. Cam, you're the gun.
Yeah, too. But he's got like 30 photos of him up here.
And I, what about the one where he's got the flathead and she's right up near?
I know. That was a take pot.
Whale shark. How close he's got it to the camera.
He told me to do it. That was on the Shark Bay trip.
Was it?
Yeah, it was. We caught it with a hand line, mate. Caught it with a hand line.
That's right.
Yeah.
But Cam, you're not too bad on the fishing, mate. You obviously study and you're getting better at it, that's for sure. But you're certainly out of the three of us, you'd be the gun.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah,
I'm really enjoying it.
Three Stooges would be proud.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm enjoying the fishing. I want to do a lot more of it when we're traveling as well.
Yeah. Hey, we'll crack on, lads. Camping,
beautiful.
I didn't camp as a kid. Mum and Dad weren't into camping and that. I got into camping after when I was in the army, when I had kids and I used to take that was my inspiration to go camping, was to take my kids camping. Did you go camping as kids? Did Mum and Dad and that take you camping as kids? Is that what inspired you to think?
For me.
Well, anyway.
Yeah, for me, definitely. We didn't do overseas trips. I don't know that anyone did back then in Perth. No one I knew anyway. But yeah, no, we didn't go overseas. We didn't go over East or anything. It was always camping trips from Perth. And yeah, my old man bought this old naturally aspirated Pajero, and we travelled all over in it. He actually pulled us out of school when I was 9 years old, and we travelled with air mattresses and cheap dome tents from ECF or wherever. And we did 6 months.
Thanks, Keith.
Yeah, did 6 months driving around and had a ball. So yeah, that's lit the fire in it for me, and then I want to share that with my kids as well. So that's why.
Yeah, and you're well into that now, Cam. Like bloody Chloe and Brody and that, mate. Like that, she loves her camping now and that. And what you just said then, back in those days, mate, 2-man and 4-man dome tents. That's what you camped in. Cheap dome tents that you bought from Kmart or whatever, and they did the job. What about you, Pete? Mum and Dad, and that take you camping, mate, or?
Yeah, a lot of camping out the back of a XF station wagon, I think, a Ford XF. I think it's an XF. Dad just used to take us to 2J and just sleeping in the back of that thing, and I loved it. I loved it ever since I was a kid. And then we continued to do it when we got licenses and stuff like that. Me and my brother and my family and all my mates and that. But that just obviously planted a seed, and then the full driving. You know, I reckon sometimes people take a different direction. You know, you got people who sort of get into their street cars and stuff like that. And then you got, when you get your license, you might get into your full driving. I went that way, and then camping obviously goes hand in hand with it. And like you say, Bucko, like again, taking it for granted, it was so easy to pop up, 40 minutes north of Perth and have kilometres and kilometres of dunes and coastline to camp on. And they've knuckled down a bit on it now, but back then, man, it was wild. It was just absolutely awesome.
We still get away with a fair bit. We're pretty lucky in WA, I think.
Well, we fish all night.
Mm.
That's what you call it.
Mm-hmm.
Just the fact is you can drive on you can drive on beaches over there. Craig Jemison, love the channel, boys. Bought some merch from both of you. Keep doing what you do. Good stuff.
Thank you, Craig. Thank you to anyone who's commenting too. There are some rippers coming through.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm too busy trying to watch
Jibber Jabber
thing. But who's this one, Jane? This is a new one. This must be one.
Jonesy's a legend.
Yeah, Jonesy must be from over west. Did that when I was a teen. Two of the uncles brand new Sea-Doo out the Brisbane waterways and ended up over there.
You wouldn't be the first, I'm sure.
No, too many videos online, isn't it? Absolutely awesome.
Yeah. No, see, bloody
Luke Alexander. My dad started with a Series 1 Land Rover. How good.
Wicked.
Love that.
Oh, yeah, the old double clutch and that. Hey, before I forget, how's the 76 going? I know, Cam, you're in the 300. We'll ask you about that soon. How's the 76 going, Pete? Like, mate, it just...
it's just... People. I don't reckon I could ever explain the feeling of... It's just, it never has ever given me any grief. Touch wood. But, and I reckon it's got something to do with... I've got a heavy-duty clutch in it when I changed it over. What's that thing called, man? The thing
bearing, or
you got it spot on. When I had to change that thrust bearing, I think it might be. When I had to change my thrust bearing out, I changed to a heavy duty clutch, a terrain tamer. But that's basically, apart from that, the exhaust and the freaking snorkel ram head, which does bugger all, lets it breathe a bit harder. That's the only mod I've done to it.
That's probably why you've had no dramas with it.
No, that's what I'm saying, man. I think I don't ever push it out of its limits, you know?
Yeah, unless I'm driving on the beach.
Lend it to Cam. Hey, Peter,
through his codes though, Rob. Where I was going to say someone in the comments.
We're swapping cars soon, though, on a trip.
Yeah, we'll think it. Are you sure you want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, but we're going to swap. I wanted to do a video in layman's bricky terms, a 300 versus a 76, just my thoughts on them both. So I think that might be an interesting video. I think I know what's going to happen, but I know my thoughts. It's like, for me, I like that rugged, I don't know, I like the position that you're sitting. I like that I don't have to give a shit about what I do to my car. Mind you, you're like that with the 300. We sort of don't mind.
We talked about this the other day, though. If I was going to do a lap of Australia tow in a caravan, I'd take my 300. If I was going to do a boys' trip to Cape York and put it down, through water crossings and what's that? Is it Gunshot? I forget what it's called now. All that kind of hectic stuff. I wouldn't want to do it in my 300, but I do it in a 76. And I think you'd probably get home without throwing a coat or having a drama in a 76. Whereas I'm not sure a 300 make it home under its own steam.
Just the odd alternator light.
The old solid axle Tojos, they're just tough, aren't they? Like the solid axles and that. There's no way an IFS is as tough as a solid axle vehicle.
No. And you just have to look at mine sites or station country and see what they're all driving, and that speaks volumes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, Bucko, there's a comment here from Matty from West Australian Off-Road.
Oh, Matty, I spoke to Matty at the four-wheel drive, Perth four-wheel drive show about a month ago.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to call him a wanker. Like, why would you mention that you're at the gym?
Yeah.
Who do you think you are? You better than me?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how many lifting I'm doing tonight.
375 dumbbells.
Yeah.
No, it was great. It was great to catch up with Matty. And I'll tell you what, I'm halfway through your podcast with Matty too, Pete. I've downloaded some podcast now, mate, and I want to get...
You haven't been able to finish it.
I'll tell you when I will finish it, when I drive down to Townsville. It's a 3-hour drive down to Townsville for Christmas to catch up with Gidgy Gorilla and that. I'll finish it. So what a great way to listen to a podcast is when you're driving and that, mate. So
that's what I listen to all, Pete.
Yeah, no, it's great to catch up with Matty. He was at the exhibitors stand and all that type of stuff, and there was a lot of people there that like YouTubers from West Aussie that I'd never heard of before. I mean, there's a million YouTube channels now, but what is it with Western Australia and YouTube channels? There are a million, like in the camping, and I know what the answer is. It's because there's just so many beautiful places to go four-wheel driving and camping and that in West Aussie, but mate, West Aussie's just got so many YouTube channels, hasn't it, in the camping and four-wheel driving thing. Unbelievable. Maddie's one of them there.
We are just all attention seekers.
Yeah.
We are all sad, lonely attention seekers.
Well, it was great to catch up with some of them. Red Dirt Diaries or Red Dirt Adventures, sorry, and
Red Dust, Brad, legend.
Matty and that, and Harry was there, and Ronnie obviously at the Perth Four-Wheel Drive show. I've been to the Brisbane one. I'll tell you what, the Perth one's good. It's a beauty. I really like that four-wheel drive. Something about it.
I hear that from a lot of people, like Harry and a few of the other guys that do all the shows.
Yeah, that it's the biggest.
They always say Perth's the best show.
I think so.
Yeah.
I've been to the Sydney one and that. I know a lot of them are similar, but I'll tell you what, a man I can listen to, and he has got the gift of the gab, and he gets up on stage and just starts talking. He's got a great sense.
I was going to say that too.
Great.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Brilliant. All day. He's a bloody.
He's falling for it, isn't he?
Yeah,
he is, mate. He's one of the best, I think. He got up on stage and just showed some of his film clips and all that. And Pete, I don't know if you know, he had a staffy called Didge.
Okay, yeah, I do remember seeing.
Staffy passed away recently. I think he was 18 or something.
He took that on a trip.
18.
Yeah.
Remember what was his series called when he was doing those WA trips?
Yeah,
he took it on one of those episodes, I'm sure.
I wish
18 is a good innings.
Oh, mate, 18 is great for Staffy. Anyway, he got out and he put the last photo. He was going on about how he'd never have another dog. In the last photo, he's got another little puppy. He couldn't help
I don't think it leaves you up. I don't think it. And it's funny, we've just got a new little Staffy, as you know, but he looks nearly identical to Charlie. You know, I don't know whether that was subconsciously chosen like that, but I always need a dog. I think I do.
And he's a humper just like Charlie too.
He is.
Yeah.
Where you learn that from?
Yeah. How's Percy? How's your dog? You're a beautiful dog, Cam. Percy.
Percy's living. He's living the dream at the moment.
What is he, Australian Shepherd or something, isn't he?
Yeah, he's an Aussie Shepherd. He's living the dream at the moment because we're staying with Tiff's folks on their property, and they're on 5 acres, and he's just got run of the joint, so he's just going nuts, chasing bobtail lizards and all that sort of good stuff. And he gets spoiled by Tiff's folks. He had toast for breakfast this morning before I woke up.
Shit, that's better than my breakfast.
Hey, what are some of your go-to? Do you guys love going into, like me, go into camping stores and that? And if you do, what are your favourite camping stores or fishing stores and that? My weakness is Super Cheap and BCF, and my new one, I must admit, when I go to Townsville or even up in Cairns, I go to the Adventure Kings superstores. They got some good stuff in there now. People not Kings. They have upped their game. What's some of your favourite camping stores?
I love BCF and Anaconda.
Anaconda, I was going to say.
I do. I love an independent camping store though. Like we used to have
camping culture in Wangara, dude.
And we used to have Rangers down this way. I think they've all shut down.
World's pretty good.
Yeah. There's one. What's that? Go camping and overlanding. I haven't been there yet.
Oh, Balcatta. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's independent too.
I'm keen.
That's a brilliant store. Yeah.
Mate, we've lost that now. I think BCF and Anaconda have killed off the little camping shops. I used to love going as a kid. Going to army disposal stores, which also had camping gear and all that type of stuff. The little independents, but they've all been killed off by the big guys now, haven't they?
Yeah.
All those little independent camping stores. They really have.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I quite like when you're traveling through country towns and stuff, going to their local camping stores. You know, they'll often have like a general store.
Connected on.
Yeah, like there's a Ripper one in Karratha. I forget what it's called, but it's a fantastic camping, hunting, fishing store, and it's like those little independent ones where they're sourcing all their stuff from local knife makers, local canvas makers. Kununurra's got a really good one as well.
Yeah, righto. Oh, good stuff. I know. It's good to get in and support those little stores and that too, but unfortunately, it's like Bunnings, the little hardware shops are all closing now because Bunnings and even Mitre 10s are struggling now because of the big Bunnings stores. It's just the big boys just get stronger and stronger and stronger. So
I think Mitre 10, I literally heard an ad about Mitre 10 today, and they're like, we're the other hardware store.
That's right. That's their slogan.
And the thing I like about Anaconda is that they have all the hiking gear. I'm into my hiking. No, I'm not. I'm sorry.
Hey,
are you looking for a map because you're lost in that section?
as soon as you said that, Pete, everyone knew you were full of shit.
Yeah. I think that, yeah.
But I'll tell you what, Pete, there's something about that people may not know about you, and until less than a week ago, I didn't know about you until I watched Paul's interview. What's his channel's name again, mate? Sorry.
Won't Stand Still.
Won't Stand Still, guys.
Yeah.
He's just getting up and running, mate. And I don't know how
he's a bloody gentleman. He's a legend.
Seems like a really nice guy. He asked some really good questions of you, Pete. And I did not realise that until he said, I don't know how he knew about this. He'd done a lot of research on you. Mate, one, and I'm not trying to be funny, you were a very, very good tennis player, and you also
still is.
Not bad on the drums. Now, I know you're a bit modest, mate. You know, like, tell us when did you get into tennis? But he said that you were ranked in the top 20 or 25 in Australia. Now, that's no mean feat, mate. There's a lot of tennis players in this country, and you were right
30.
It's 26. And I was 25th, so yeah.
You obviously got into it at an early age as a young teenager, did you? Or
yeah. Well, geez, I reckon I was. I don't know. Since I can remember, the old man got me into it because he took it up as like a 25, 28-year-old, and he loved it. So he started taking us down to the tennis club, and then the tennis club became our bloody second home. And then I was able to get a scholarship to Applecross High School, which is like a tennis program. And shit, the amount of tennis you'd play, you'd be a dummy not to become good. But a couple of the guys, like I don't know if you've heard of Matthew Ebden. So I was in the same scholarship as him in the same tennis program, but he was another level. He was incredibly good, but I don't know. The good thing is, the old man said to me, he goes, "Hey, if you want to have a go, over in America at the colleges and that," but I don't think I was interested. I think I'd got my license and stuff by then, but I love playing social and that now. But yeah, but it's wild, Buck, when especially even the high school days, having the scholarship. When I say a scholarship, it's like a public high school. You know what I mean? I think they still have it now. But shit, you'd go to. I remember because I lived in. I think I lived about an hour and 10 away from the school, so I'd have to catch 3 buses in the morning to get there. Yeah. So I'm up early, always up early. An hour before school, you'd play, during lunch and recess, and then you'd play, an hour during school, and then an hour after school, and then you'd catch a bus and then go and train, at the State Tennis Centre, and just unreal, unreal how fit I was back then. But then I found beer.
Yeah, thanks,
but no, it's good fun.
Hey, mate, that Matt Ebden, was he in the doubles team that just won the gold medal at the Olympics?
Yep, spot on. Yep, 100%.
I knew his name as soon as you mentioned that, mate.
Yeah, I love that because he just won. Oh my God, his name escapes me. He co-won the John Newcombe medal. With Alex de Minaur. That's what it was. Yeah. He co-won it, but unbloody believable bucket if you'd see these guys play in person. Just incredible. And another thing I reckon it doesn't get spoken about enough is that someone like that and Alex de Minaur, how good they are at representing the scene and, even representing Australia. You got some real dipshits out there. Like I love watching Kyrgios because he's entertaining, but he's an idiot.
Yeah, I know, mate. I was going to ask you about them. Tomic and Kyrgios, just they were both good players. There's no doubting that, but they didn't shine a good light on Australia. Like just
is it all on purpose though? Is that all like PR stuff?
For sure, man. Yeah. Well, that's why he's at the Australian Open this year.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be to win, dude. They would have invited him free wild card because he's bloody entertaining.
Any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah, that's it, dude. 100%.
Yeah, I don't know. As an Australian, I pride ourselves that we're kind of modest people.
Agreed.
And he just doesn't shine. Remember, Pat Cash and Pat Rafter was the big one.
Pat Rafter.
Just a true gentleman, mate, when he played tennis. If he threw the ball up and didn't hit it, like sometimes you don't get the serve throw right.
Oh, sorry.
Apologise. And he was a true gentleman, mate. And then we had those two diddly donks come on. They were just like little rich boys that like.
Yeah, exactly.
Spoiled daddy boy type thing, That's the way it came across to me. But yeah, so mate, you got up in the rankings. Like, well, you're up in the 20s. In Australia.
Yeah, the thing is though, Buck, the reason that I was at that ranking is because I won like a tournament out of luck, out of nowhere. I don't know how I won it, but it just knocked me up in points. I'm one of those guys who reaches the quarterfinal at best, or the round of 32. That's me.
Oh, mate, it's still something to be. And you still play social tennis now, you were saying?
Yeah, not so much as of late, but I absolutely will be getting back into it for sure.
Yeah, good stuff. And drumming, he said you're not a bad drummer. You're not bad on the sticks as well, mate. Where did that come from?
Oh, no, that was just self-taught listening to Phil Collins and John Farnham. It was, dude. No, I'm not a full drummer. It's self-taught, but it's like just started off on Mum's Tupperware gear, like it really was. Drumming along to John Farnham's like Whispering Jack concert. It was. It really was.
Have you ever played in a band or had some practice sessions with a band at all? Or?
No, not at all. But I've got a cousin, Justin, who I've had on the podcast. He plays for a band, like quite a big band, and he's incredible at what he does. And they've done film clips and. Yeah, no, he's a different level. But again, I'm just a quarterfinal. They call me quarterfinal Pete,
Oh, mate. There you go. Someone, people probably follow Pete's channel and know he loves his camping and four-wheel driving and loves the cook-up and all that, which we'll talk about soon. Cam, any hidden talents that we need to know about you, mate? Like, don't be too modest. Is there any hidden talents?
I can throw a mean roundhouse after a few beers. There's a backstory, but it's not suitable for. It's not family channel stuff.
Yeah, big roundhouse and then falls in the campfire.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, splits the pants and has to borrow my shorts for the rest of the night.
At a Patreon.
At a Patreon. Oh. God.
No, I've got no talents, mate. That's why I'm on YouTube.
Speaking of YouTube, what made you get into it? You've both got really, really popular channels over there in West Aussie. Cam, you've gone gangbusters, which is why you've now made it a full-time gig, mate. Pete, you're getting there, mate, and you're taking your foot off the pedal with the bricklaying, and you're able to do that because of your YouTube channel, mate. Like, it's going fantastic. And, mate, it's not about the subscribers. I look at the views you get. You get good views, mate. You get really, really good views. What made you get into YouTube? You've been around a while now.
Let me answer first because I'm going to go and get us a beer. With YouTube, Buck, I reckon, like building the community, I think is like building you remember the names that comment on your stuff 100%. And even you said to me, right, that numbers don't matter, but you're like, if you could pause right now and just stay the way you are, you'd be happy 100%. And I'd be the same as well, But I'll let you answer. I'll get your beer.
Finish though. What got you into it?
Before you go, Pete, Salty Beaches, Starry Nights, Buck on guitar, Pete on the drums, Cam on vocals.
That
would sell out.
We'd get shut down.
Oh, mate, my guitar playing is atrocious, like absolutely atrocious. We should give it a go. We should do that if we
Be
ever
good
do a
laugh.
bloody charity event one day.
Oh, mate, that'd be mint.
Yeah, we'll keep, unless you donate, we're not going to stop.
Do a marathon, we'll get 100 grand.
Record donations.
100 grand. They'll be throwing pineapples up on stage. Get on. Oh, here we go. Here's another scene graper. Watch it in, guys. Mr. Bullet over there.
Wow, what a legend, man.
Nice.
I know that name.
Yeah, Mr. Bullet, 1952. Oh, Clippy. G'day, mate. How are you?
Hey, Bucko, you're going to bring up, Ty Fenwick.
Oh, mate. Ty, what a great channel he's got. And Ty's doing. He was on my 12-hour live feed, fellas. Ty. Only had him on for half an hour. Absolutely fair. And Ty's going to come on early next year, and we're going to do a full-on
magic.
Ty, mate. So what a great channel. And a Ford man. That's why I like him.
Did you get that picture, though, that I sent you?
Yeah.
About the fishing?
There was like...
There you go, Ty. I've got it in, mate.
8 million fish. Yeah, Ty, I did see that, you arsehole. And I would still miss out on catching a fish there. Unbelievable. Go grab a beer, Pete. Go and grab a shelter.
All right, I'll be 2 seconds.
Couple,
might have to be whisk.
All right, or whatever you're having.
No, I got
There's beers in my house here.
Don't think too hard, Pete.
Wilkins.
Oh,
Yeah, grab some of them, man.
Get a Coke?
Yeah. I'll answer while he's gone because he's left me high and dry.
Yeah. How'd you get into YouTube, man?
Like back in the day on Facebook and on MySpace, I think even back that far.
Oh, wow.
I was just always putting pictures up of being at the beach and fishing and full driving and whatever else I was up to. And I think I had a lot of friends from school and stuff that were just bored of seeing it. So I literally had small clips on my phone or whatever I was filming. I think it was like a Sony action camera or something back in the day. And I just started putting them together. And instead of putting them on Facebook or MySpace, I started a YouTube account and was putting them on there. And it just sort of organically sort of grew into something. I started actually, trying to make it make sense, like tell a story and whatnot and have some sort of flow to it. And then eventually it turned into the hot mess that it is now.
Yeah. No regrets going full time, mate. Like I spoke to you in Perth and that, but it's all going well. You're happy with how it's gone so far? Like, must have been a big thing, Cam, to go, I'm gonna have a crack at this full time. That must have been like the sphincter must have been doing one of them. Like it's a big call, mate, to do that. But it's going.
Yeah, I'd kind of hoped that I could, because I was working for the government and I was doing that 80% pay thing. You do 4 years at 80% pay and you get I don't know if you had that scheme, and then your 5th year you're off on 80% pay.
No.
So maybe it's only a WA thing. So it's almost like a salary sacrifice for a year off. And it was always my plan that would be my year of giving it a crack. And then if it didn't pan out, I'd go back to work. But my little one, Brody, got Croc, and I took some time off to look after him. And I hated my job. I hated the industry that I worked in. Yeah. Tiff really loves her job, and they wouldn't give me any more time off to look after Brody. So I had to make a choice. Either Tiff was going to have to take a lot of leave and potentially risk her employment, or I was going to have to. And it was an easy choice for me. If they're not going to give me the time off to look after my kid, that just made it super easy.
Yeah, mate, yeah. That just forced your hand there, but
and in retrospect, has been a good thing.
Yeah. While we're on YouTube, buddy, when was the Shark Bay trip you did together? Was that this year or last year?
No, 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
A couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So you've got a bit of a collab coming up again, because I know everyone loves seeing you together and do. And I know you've got your own channels and you've got to focus on that, but everyone loves seeing you get together and have a little camp up and all that. And you were talking about swapping Forbies and going on a bit of a trip with it. Tell us a bit about that coming up early next year.
Yeah, sort of first part of next year. We're going to do something, a few nights away, something in the boats, a bit of full driving, film a few things. The difficult thing for us, and I think,
glad you mentioned this.
Yeah, I think we've got it figured out now. The difficult thing for us is because we both have YouTube accounts that are about full driving and camping. We don't want to go to a trip together and put out a carbon copy of each other's video. You know what I mean? So we've got
Laurel and Hardy.
So we've come up. Yeah, we've come up with a bit of a solution to figure that out.
It's clever, dude.
Yeah,
that's good.
And we sort of did that in the Shark Bay trip too, didn't we?
We had to.
Yeah,
we had to because there was no fishing content.
Yeah, that was.
So we're like, shit. What can we film?
we went up to Shark Bay with big plans of like all these fishing videos. We were there for like 10 days in one spot. So it's not overlanding, it's not touring. It's we were going to film fishing content, and then we caught no fish. We were like, shit.
I love hearing shit like that because it means I'm not the only useless prick there.
No way.
The best part of that, and I had to have a laugh, was you decided to get in the water and have a bit of a bloody snorkel around. I don't know if you had the spear gun or not. And then you saw a shark and Pete come out of the water like a Tomahawk cruise missile. I've never seen anyone get out of the water. All you could hear on the camera was...
You know, like Pete's...
wasn't a bloody gummy shark or something. It wasn't a great white.
No, it was a big shark. It was big. It's gotten bigger every time we tell the story.
Yeah, it grows 6 inches every time.
Yeah. No, but, you know, like when Pete talks about his tennis days, I can't, like, no disrespect.
No, go ahead.
I struggle to picture that because Pete's a big unit. He's a big, strong, muscly dude. I can't imagine him being super agile, you know, until that Shark Bay trip.
You'd be forgiven for thinking that.
He was like a young baby fur seal, slipped out of the ocean and onto the bow of the boat, you know, in just one smooth movement. I've never seen anything like
Zohan.
it.
Zohan.
What do you reckon it was? Was it a tiger or a bull? Or you weren't in the water long enough.
It was not a megalodon. Megalodon?
Yeah, great white.
Maybe a great white.
No, it would have. I think because I had a shot of its tail, didn't I? And I put it on Instagram or something, and I said, "People who know more than us, what do you reckon this is?" And I think people came back and said it was a bull shark
or a shovel nose.
But you know,
no teeth. You missed the part though where I was choking it.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah. Was it Mick Fanning who?
Yeah.
But the worst part was that the water was really dirty. You know, it was change of tide and it was murky. You couldn't see more than 3 feet ahead. So that always makes things scary. Plus, I was going to play it cool because I was holding a spear gun. So I thought we're together. We've got a spear gun. We're sweet. But then he went to the surface and was just splashing like crazy. This oil slick was coming from his shorts. There's bubbles all over the surface, and I thought I was swimming through his bubbles, so I had to get out of it.
Honestly, I thought to myself, he's got the gun. It might malfunction. I'll cause a distraction. I'll get eaten. I was caring about you, mate. I was looking out for you. He had a freaking gun. Like, hey, Buck. The funny thing is that whole trip, getting in and out of Cam's dinghy at the back was really like an arduous task, wasn't it? This one here, boom, just boom, 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 in you go. I just flopped into the boat, didn't I?
Yeah.
Jesus, flippers on and all.
I would have been the same, Pete, but I had to laugh. I thought, here's these two diddly donks thinking they're Brody Moss. They're down there with a spear gun and that. Brody jumps in after sharks. You guys saw a shovel nose, and Pete bloody just launched out of the water. But I would have been the same, Pete. Bloody.
And the biggest fish we caught was a blowfish, wasn't it?
In Nor'wester.
To be fair, that thing was like this.
Yeah, they're bloody mongrel bloody things. You know, speaking of Brody, I always worry about him. I reckon we're going to hear on the news one day he's been hit by a shark or something. I reckon he's going to run out of luck one day. I hate to say that. I love his channel. I think he's going to run out of luck one day, old bro. And,
he's like a bloody real-life Aquaman, I think. I reckon he speaks to him a little bit, you know?
Yeah, I know, mate. He's just absolutely incredible. And speaking of Brody, Cam, you ran into Brody on Christmas Island.
Okay, there's a good comment there. Landy Smurf. Oil slick in bubbles.
Speaking of diddly donks, Landy Smurf is an A-grade diddly donk. I can't see his bloody... Oh, yeah. Here we go.
It probably was. An involuntary one.
Got some great stories about that one if you want to talk about that. No.
That was the morning after one of Kim's dodgy Vindaloo curries, was it, Pete?
Yeah.
Well, the rest of us
That's what propelled me.
Yeah. The rest of us get that fight or flight reaction. Pete gets flight or shart.
Flight or shot.
Oh, dear, oh, dear. What were we talking about then? Oh, you ran into Brody on Christmas Island, mate. And tell us a bit about Christmas Island. All I know about Christmas Island is where we had a detention centre on there, and a few of my mates actually worked up there in the detention centre. But I was watching Brody and your clip, mate. It looks like an absolutely beautiful place to go.
It is. It's honestly paradise. I can't remember. Yeah. I think it's 400 Ks. Oh, it's 400 Ks from Indonesia.
I couldn't know.
They are refreshing.
Hey, what do you think of the one above it, Bucko?
What's that one?
To me 747.
To me 747.
Cam and Pete Big Luck. Sorry, Tiff.
I reckon Tim will be watching this too in the lounge room.
Do you know what? Don't even threaten that because she'll probably say yes, go.
She'll probably go now. Both of you pack up and go, and me and Sherry will bloody look after the houses while you're gone.
I can do the intro. Cam Wild touring. Cam Wild touring.
That is good.
Hey, Pete, while we're at it, let's do our best Cam Wild touring.
Oh.
Clickbait. What is it? Clickbait. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Go.
I'm going to screenshot that and use it for the next one.
The king of clickbait thumbnails. He has gone down that rabbit hole, and I said to Pete, we got to do our best Cam Wild touring clickbait thumbnail.
Like it.
Well, we'll come back onto that. Tell us more about Christmas Island.
Oh yeah, Christmas Island's amazing. It's closer to Indonesia than it is to mainland Australia, but it's still an Australian territory. And like you said, people only really know about it because of the detention centre there. A lot of people know about the Cocos-Keeling Islands, but they forget totally about Christmas Island. But Christmas Island's just amazing. It's a volcanic reef in the middle of nowhere. Only on the OnlyFans channel.
It's hard to be serious with some of these comments coming in. Absolutely.
We'd have OnlyFans.
OnlyMans.
Yeah. Whoa. I'm going to buy that domain. If that hasn't been sold.
OnlyMans.
OnlyMans.
That's you two walking along a beautiful beach in your G-bangers holding hands together.
The subscribers just plummet. So we've got a really passionate small community.
Full of dudes.
Dear idea. Yeah. So you went up with Tiff and your mum and dad or something too. When it was one of your family things, or you do an annual family event. Yeah.
It was epic. No, we the only problem with that place is it's not well set up for tourism. So to get a flight there's one flight a week, and because the locals rely on food coming in the bottom of those airplanes that we flew in on, the air one will tell you anything that you definitely need that you can't live without. It's got to be on carry-on. You got to carry it on the flight itself. Anything you stow away underneath, it may get pulled out last minute and replaced with food or supplies to the locals. So that was like one sort of consideration. And then the other thing is, because it's just so isolated, it's such a small island and it's so far away, they get one like freight ship in, whatever it is, a fortnight or a month or something like that. So all the vehicles that are on the island are like 20 years plus old.
Yeah.
So your hire cars are these bunky RAV4s.
Yeah, I love that.
Every hire vehicle, pretty much every vehicle on the island is a RAV4, so they can share parts. If one breaks down, everyone just pinches the bits off it. But these things are like not roadworthy. It's like driving a go-kart around. It's great fun.
Yeah, I was going to say it'd be a good experience.
Oh, and the accommodation. There's no accommodation really. So we were in an Airbnb, and it was an amazing house right on the water, and it was owned by a fellow that also runs a dive charter business or something as well on the island.
Yeah.
But expensive, like it was $700 a night or something. So if we weren't splitting it between a couple of families, it'd be a very expensive holiday.
Yeah. And you ran into Brody was up there filming when you were on there. You got to say good day to Brody from Youngbloods.
Yeah. I was fangirling pretty hard.
Yeah. No, he's but you said he's quite approachable and a nice fella in real life.
Oh, absolute champion. Took some. I mean, I've seen him before in Exmouth. You've seen him in Exmouth as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Yeah, and I reckon I've seen him twice in Exmouth, and both times was in town, and he was just getting smashed by young fans and people. And I didn't have the heart to be one of those people that's like, can I take a photo with you and take up more of his time? But in Christmas Island, we're having a couple of beers with mum and dad, and we're playing Uno with the kids, and we're sitting on the front veranda, and this little RAV4 pulls up. And
just dropped a.
just dropped a pickup 4.
I've just dropped a pickup 4.
I was going to win the game. Yeah, but this little RAV4 pulls up, and Brody and 2 of his mates get out with all the camera gear and stuff. And Tiff says, "Oh, that's Brody Moss." And I'm like, "No way!" And I had to quickly finish my beer to work up the Dutch courage to get over there and say g'day.
Oh, wow. Well, he just went up. I saw the photo you took with him, but he was quite approachable. And
he was a champion.
I guess he wasn't getting mobbed there. So I know he's the type of guy, if there's too many people around, he's, what's the word, Pete? Extrovert or
introvert? Yeah, an introvert, I think.
Like crowds. I remember he's doing a cook-up on Christmas Island once, and he was in a really remote place overlooking the beautiful views, and some people turned up, and you could just tell he got really, really uncomfortable because some people turned up when he was filming. Yeah.
So one thing I'll say, though, because we'd been to Christmas Island and we'd been to all the places he'd filmed in, it's quite funny. Like I've lost a little bit of the magic from watching his show, because you realise that a lot of things are set up. Like when we're watching his Christmas Island videos, he's pulled a fish out of this location, and then he goes wandering through the bush to cook it up. But the location that he's cooking it up, that he supposedly walked to, is 80 k's across the other side of the island. So he's really jumping his RAV4 and driven around. He's pitched a tent on Dolly Beach, and he's having a cook up, and he's going to camp there. There's no way he's camping there, But I guess that's the magic of YouTube.
Yeah. It all makes a good thing in that. But he hasn't put Western Australia on the map, in particular Ningaloo Reef and all that type of stuff. The views he gets, like, he should be on the Australian tourism payroll, I think. Like his
footage is every bit of footage is good enough to be a documentary. It's amazing.
It's almost like his GoPro, because he's like, I think, is he sponsored, or have they given him some? Or I don't want to speculate, but it's just, how does he get that out of a GoPro? Do you know what I mean?
Even the audio, sometimes I just don't know how he gets.
I know, it's almost like GoPro have a secret.
Yeah. I must say, his footage and his audio is 10 times better than I've ever got out of a GoPro.
I agree.
He obviously knows what he's doing with his post-production.
It is almost National Geographic stuff. Like, it's incredible. And he's there on a jet ski with a bloody Spanish mackerel hooked up. He's driving the jet ski with his feet, and he's got the drone in the air at the same time. Like, the guys.
We've all been there, haven't we?
I think Matty G said something up there about he wouldn't wish that fame on anyone. I totally agree with him.
I think he said wouldn't wish that game.
Did you see that? I think it was a typo. I totally agree.
I remember him getting to 1 million. I was a subscriber well before he got to 1 million. He's now at 8.3 or something. Just unbelievable. Yeah. But
he would be at that point, though, where numbers don't mean anything to him as well. Like literally 8 million. It's like, nah, whatever. I'm just, I don't know. I reckon personally, I think it gets to him. I reckon. Yeah. Well, he's not as, he doesn't seem as happy as back in the day. He's only putting out videos every now and then.
No, I don't think so. I've sent an email to his thing and said, I'd love you and Jacko to come on for a live, but he's not the type of bloke who would come on some unknown bloke's YouTube channel. And I know
what you mean.
Him and Jacko growing up as kids and what they did as kids and that, I think it'd be fantastic. But mate, he just Anyway, he seems happy. I think he's settling down now. I don't think it'll be long before he throws a ring on Vicky's finger and marries
good
him, mate. So like he deserves all the success that comes his way. That bloke, he's He's absolutely amazing. He really is.
Yeah, agreed.
When you go out camping, what are some of the things that you always take? Cam, I want to talk to you soon about, we're going to go into the cooking side of things soon. Some of your must take items when you go out on your thing. Do you have a standard setup when you go out, or do you just go, I'm going on this type of setup, this is what I'm going to pack? Do you pack for each camping trip, or do you just have a standard setup?
My car is pretty much, and I think you might.
Yeah, no, I reckon you're going to say it.
My car is pretty much always packed, ready to go. I fit in the new setup with the wagon. I've pretty much just got one drawer with all of my camping gear, all of my basic cooking gear, and I could live out of that. Fill the water bladder, fill the fridge with beers and some food, and I've lived out of that for 3-4 weeks at a time. And then in my carport's pretty much set up with a shelf that's got my swag and my stretcher and my chair and stuff. So it literally takes me all of 5 minutes to fill the water tank, fill the fridge with grog and food and that, and throw the swag in the back, and I'm out the door.
Yeah.
And that's probably maybe a bit of the reason why I'm enjoying, because I do enjoy obsessing over the details, like, trying out new camping gear and trying different setups and all that kind of stuff. But because I've really fine-tuned my car camping stuff, I'm quite enjoying the idea of learning how to do that again from the boat. And that's why, I'm quite interested in doing a bit more of that. And hopefully we'll do a few more boating trips before I take off on the lap.
Yeah. We'll talk about
that. For me, so I'm much the same as Cam, and I reckon one of the best. I'm just going to play on what you said. You
always do.
Yeah. The best thing I've done to my camping setup is simplify it. And the front runner, I know this sounds weird. It's almost like I'd be sponsored by these guys, but those front runner boxes, the only thing that I'm usually changing for my setup is taking my front runner fire box out, which has, fire starters and, all fire cooking gear and that in there. I take that out, and I reckon, I think I've said this, and I've said it to you definitely, is that I reckon the camping game is coming back to either like a modular setup where you can change it for different circumstances, or it's simplifying again.
Yeah.
So I can whip those front runner boxes out. Said the wrong front runner boxes out, and then I can have the dog in the back or beach gear. You know what I mean? So that's one of the best things I've ever done. I've seen people who fill the whole back of their car up with drawers everywhere, and it's only made for camping, and then they change to then a kid's on the way. You know what I mean? So therefore, you're going to spend thousands to change it. I think modular and simple is the best way to go.
And I've pinched that
always,
dude.
And always cull things that you aren't using, and just distance yourself from them. Honestly, because you can get caught up in having shit you don't need.
Yeah, we tend to overpack rather than underpack. As long as you've got a way to cook and a way to sleep, that's all you need. Where did those front runner boxes, Pete? You had the drifter drawers in there at one stage, and then you went to the upright fridge, which is why you couldn't have the drawers in there anymore. But mate, it's simple to just grab them out, and you know what's in each box.
Mate, the thing about them, look, use Wacker 10. No, I'm only joking. I don't know. No, the thing about them is they're hardy. They're really heavy duty. They're stackable. You can tie them down. And also, they're freaking cheap. They're like quite cheap. What would it be? Like $60?
Yeah.
Are they a bunch?
I know that sounds like a lot, but you can fit a lot of shit in there.
Where do you get them from?
You can get them from BCF. I know that.
I got mine online, I think.
Yeah, you can get them online. I think you can even buy them on Amazon. There's stores that are, stocking them on there.
And there's other brands, like there's that Expedition one.
Yeah,
There's a couple of different mobs doing a similar sort of box, but
I just find they're better, man. They're like, I like the black color, and I also like the stackable. Oh, I think other things stackable.
You're definitely on the payroll, eh?
No, not at all. No. Code though, guys, I'll put it in the comments. Wacker 10, use it at checkout.
They said you have to wear your front runner hat.
They'll run to BCF tomorrow and go, can I have some front runner boxes and use Wacker 10? And they'll just go, you're a whacker, mate. Get out of here.
You'll get arrested.
You pay more.
Upright fridges, fellas. I am still on the fence about upright fridges. I know angles and that, you pack them beautifully for when, and then as soon as you start, it's all right if you've just got, if you're taking the caravan or whatever, your food and everything's in the fridge in there. But when you're packing food and beers into an angle or a, your traditional type camping fridge,
chest fridge, yeah.
You pull a few beers out, everything falls to the bottom, and then it's a nightmare to get stuff out. My big thing with the upright fridges was I thought everything would rattle around and it wouldn't be stacked in enough. And I didn't think you'd be able to get, like, I know they're a big fridge, but can you get as much in them as you can with a traditional fridge? Now, what are your thoughts? You're running them. So what are your thoughts on the upright fridges? I know they're getting popular.
You got anything? I will never go back now. That's my honest. And I wanted to do a shout out to Swagging Sisters. I've followed myself for a while. They're just absolute legends, like absolutely awesome. Have always supported me. But she actually had a wicked comment there about changing setups on the type of trip. Yeah. But Bucko, I'll never go back from an upright now, mate. The only thing that I reckon I could that I could pick with my upright is I'd love a little bit more freezer room.
But
he's right though. You don't, if you've got an 80-litre upright, 85-litre in your case, you don't fit as much as you'd fit in an 80-litre angle, do you?
No, because you can just pile it, dude. There's no lost space.
But it's so much. It's less of a. It's just more convenient.
It absolutely is. It's like fridge at home, you know.
And that little freezer, although it is small, like you said, you'd be surprised. You can fit like a week's worth of bait and food in there.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking. I know you can definitely fit like half a bag of your normal servo ice because that's all I put in there. Bloody mixer ice, you know.
Yeah. You take an ice machine.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. No, it's one of you running a Cam. Are you running an ice maker, or am I thinking of someone else? I know.
I did one trip, our Shark Bay trip. I took an ice maker up only because we were in one place for 10 days, and it was for drinks. We were running fridges. We didn't need ice for eskies or anything.
Yeah.
But I see they do 12-volt ones now. I'd be keen to try that.
Yeah.
I was using like a cheap Amazon one, like you've got in your bar here. It was just my home ice maker, and it worked fine. It worked good, but they're just not up to the corrugations and stuff. There's too many moving parts in them. I think I did maybe 2 trips with that ice maker, and it just rattled apart.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. That was my worry about an upright fridge, Pete, was things like hit a corrugated road and everything just rattling around inside the fridge. Have you found that at all, mate? I mean, you've done some good 4-wheel drive tracks and that. Do they stand up to the tracks okay?
I honestly have not run into anything like that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that they don't. It comes down to how you pack them. I mean, for example, just a little thing like putting beers in there. If you put loose beers in there, they're going to roll around because there's no weight holding them down. But, there's all little hacks and stuff like that. The can holders, the little, what are they called? What would you call them?
Yeah, those plastic
clip over the top.
Yeah.
They're brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But look, fun fact about the Bushman 85, again, whack a tent. No, I'm only joking. You can fit a full carton in the bottom of cans, and they don't move, dude. They interlock. But only thing I'd say to sell the upright is the convenience. The convenience alone is absolutely unreal. Don't forget you've got all that door room as well. I mean, picture like taking your home fridge out camping, or also reverse it and picture using a chest fridge for your
at home.
At home. It's a freaking headache. It truly is.
Yeah.
I reckon chest fridges. If you want to run a dedicated freezer, chest fridges would go.
Right, perfect.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which you've done, Ken. You got the Cheap Kings one as a freezer for your Simpson Desert trip, mate.
Do you know what? I've only just got a refund on that. It took me 3 months to go through their warranty process because the lid broke.
Oh, I did it.
It took 3 months and a letter from Consumer Protection to get my money back. So before, when you were talking about Kings, I love the layout of the stores as well, and I love that it's affordable. But it's funny, like the 5-year warranty on their products.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I had it for 4 months. It did 2 trips, and they took it off me and held it for 3 months before I finally got my money back for it. So.
Oh wow! So you don't want to. Yeah. Sometimes you're better off just paying the money and going to a more. Yeah. I get what you mean, mate. I get what you mean.
Unfortunately, I've done it. I've done it all. Like I bought
the cheaper stuff. Yeah.
I do feel like, unfortunately, the buy once, cry once thing does ring true on a lot of things anyway. Not everything.
Yeah. Did it actually, besides the lid, did it actually worked all right for you as a freezer on the big trips?
Yeah. No. To be fair, it worked really well, and it didn't use too much power. And they're so cheap. Like it was $250 or something. You're laughing.
Yeah.
I mean, at the time, I was actually looking for I was going to buy a good quality esky, and I drove past the King's Superstore and I thought I'll pop in and have a look, just see if they've got eskies that perfectly fit inside this sort of void I had at the boat. And then I noticed that 30-litre fridge was cheaper than the eskies I was looking at. And I thought, geez, I could just run this as a deep freezer.
Yeah. Bloody hell.
So,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they get stuff so cheap. I guess it's volume, eh?
They must buy it in big volumes. Mate, on that trip, your mate had I forget his name now, had a horrible bloody thing where the front wheel fell off his vehicle, basically, and that. How did it give us an update on him? I forget his name now, but just the worst possible bloody place for something like that to happen, and it cost him a lot of money. How did he come out the other end of that?
I mean, look, it was a really stressful situation for him. All up, the cost of recovering his vehicle from the middle of the Simpson Desert, then repairing it in Birdsville, and then freighting it back to Perth, because the repairs took weeks to get parts and actually get it fixed, and he couldn't hang around. He had to get back to work. So all up, to get it towed out of the desert, repaired, and back to Perth, it was nearly $17,000. Right, and that, like, when you look at the vintage of the vehicle, you know, it almost wasn't worth it. But a few things happened. Insurance covered a portion of it. His mates, myself and a heap of lads from work, because he was a mate from work, rallied around him, and we raised a heap of money for him.
Good on you.
And he actually, I don't know the ins and outs of the exact dollar value, how that all broke down, but yeah, basically he pretty much walked away not owing any money for all of it. So it all panned out okay. And then on top of that,
good stuff.
A bloke emailed me and asked me to pass on his details, and I passed them on to him. And he actually, and I wish I could remember the name of the company, and I can't remember what it was. Yeah. But this guy makes custom suspension equipment for Triton specifically. He's a Triton owner himself. And he got Gubby's contact details, and he got in touch with him, and he said, look, I want to sort you out with extended upper control arms, a diff drop, a new lift kit, like everything. And he didn't want anything for it. It wasn't about promotion or anything. Yeah. I have a relationship with Petters, but Petters didn't do anything for his vehicle, because that's the first thing I did. I got on to Petters and said, what can I help this guy out? Like, do we do anything that can help him? But so all up, it ended up not being too bad. But it kind of ruined the trip, to be honest with you.
You don't want to see that happen to anyone on a trip, and my God, you're in the worst possible place. Oh, you were remote when it happened. So, but he just had that. He had that item replaced and whatever before the trip, didn't he? The control arm.
So it was 6 weeks old. I think he'd worn out the bushes in his upper control arm, and it was cheaper to replace. And cheaper's not always better, but it was cheaper to replace that entire upper control arm with like a generic Repco branded control arm with a bush already pressed into it. So we went down that route. And it looked like metal failure. But the problem is that because he fitted himself and he doesn't have a trade certificate, he can't go back to a workshop and reclaim that money through their insurance. Because if, like, for instance, this is why one of the reasons why I don't do too much to my car anymore. If anything goes wrong, either, I'd go to the manufacturer of the part, or I'd go to the person that fitted, and both are insured, so both can help you out to get out of that situation. But as soon as you fix something yourself, if you haven't got a trade certificate, there's no one to come back to.
Yeah, No, true. Hey, Pete, I forgot to ask you before, mate. You both got diesel 4-wheel drives. Do you run a secondary fuel filter and a catch can? Oh, that question goes to both of you. Cam, I watched your mods and that, mate. I can't remember what you've done to your 300 now, to tell you the truth. But are you running catch cans and secondary?
Go on, Pete.
No, I run a secondary fuel filter, but not a catch can.
Okay, same as my BT, mate. I haven't got a catch can on that.
Yeah.
Cam?
How have you found? Have you found, like, do you think you need one?
Well, nothing's happened to it yet. It's got 230,000 and it's still going well, mate. So
yeah,
my
I love that. I'm like that as well. I'm simple-minded like that. If it ain't broke, I guess, I don't know.
But my question too, Pete, is, and I asked this of Brad Howell the other night, if a diesel engine was supposed to have a catch can, why don't they put one on? Why don't they?
Yeah.
Why don't they come out with one? No, I don't know. Cam, can you answer that? Brad said it was down $1.
You are the smartest one here.
Well, the funny thing is, though, like, and look, I don't know a hell of a lot about it, but from what I hear in the freight industry, like the big prime movers and stuff, they run catch cans, don't they? So I don't really know why they do it and why we don't. I haven't put a catch can on the 300 yet. And I feel like there was some reason I didn't do it. I spoke to Aaron, our mechanic, about it, and he said there was some reason that I didn't need to on the 300. I don't know if it's set up differently, but I do want to run a secondary fuel filter just to give you a little bit more protection against water in your fuel, just a second line of defence, you know. And
I met, remember Ruthie's old mechanic, Alan Gray from Terrain Tamer?
Yeah, of course.
He was the one I said, I'm about to get a BT50, and he said, mate, first thing you do to it is put a second fuel filter on it. And that was from probably one of the most experienced mechanics in this country. So that's what I did. I got one in, but I never went down the catch can side of things. I don't know. A lot of people swear by them. I don't know. Maybe down the track.
Yeah, but Bucko, it's one of those things. It's like I guess it also depends on what type of person you are. With me, it shouldn't be encouraged. It's like I'll do something once I know that I need it. It's like I got the secondary fuel filter because I had a trip where I had a dirty filter at the end and the light come on.
Right.
So I'm an after the fact guy, but there are a lot of people who are trying to do it preventatively, you know.
Yeah. Here we go. And I've heard this too. My brother's just said it's a true Toyota handbrakes are shit. I've heard that a few times on YouTube.
Yeah. Mine's working perfectly at the moment, but the first muddy puddle I go through, she's gone.
Have you got that dog bone thing? That mod?
I don't know. Ask Aaron.
Maybe not. Yeah, my old 100 series was shocking. My 75 series was shocking. My 300 one's wicked. But the 300's got an electric park brake.
Nice.
And I don't understand the wizardry on how that works, but it works really well.
Yeah. You're happy with the 300 team? It's going well at the moment?
I'm loving it, yeah.
Yeah. They are a nice vehicle, mate. They're bloody beautiful. So both West Aussie boys, born and bred, I'd take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perth all my life.
Perth, yeah.
Yeah, both Perth boys. Some of your favourite places in Western Australia. What are some of the standout places that you've been in relation to camping?
So number one for me, I don't know how it is now, but the last time I went there was a few years ago, and I got a feeling if I go back, it'll ruin it for me. But it's called Stream Beach, and where's that down?
Bremer Bay.
Bremer Bay, yeah, just out of Bremer Bay. Absolutely unreal. There's a freshwater stream running into the beach, hence the name. But awesome track in, awesome track out, dune system nearby. Beautiful camping spots, but I think it gets quite busy now. But I was going to suggest this to you one time. We should do a trip. I ended up at Stream Beach. The first time I knew about it, I ended up there accidentally because we were doing a coast drive from, Pallinup. Yeah, Beaufort Inlet. So there's heaps of inlets around the southern coast. Is it southeast, southwest? There's a lot of inlets, so it's really absolutely awesome. You have to time it, of course, if you want to drive over the sandbars of them. But we were doing this trip from Pallinup, through to Reef Beach, and then ended up going past Reef Beach because it was too blowy and bright, and then went on the Stream Beach, accidentally found it, went down a track, and it's a big hill down, but it's paradise. It's bloody paradise. That's my favourite.
That stretch is amazing. Yeah, Reef Beach, Stream Beach,
Pallinup,
Foster's.
Inlet.
All that area is magic.
That coast run is unreal.
We did nearly 300 Ks on a beach run. We started around like Albany or something, went the whole way to Reef Beach. That was amazing.
Yeah. Hey, fellas, can I bring the map up? I just want to go to Google Maps because a lot of people here.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, man.
Have not been to Western Australia. I don't know if you can see that or not.
I'm impressed.
A lot of these folks didn't know there was Western Australia.
Over west or over east. So,
don't need brakes, just make the horn louder.
Can you guys see the map at all?
Yeah.
Yep.
I've got to work out how to get in there now.
Well, that's curved, so that's fake. I'm joking. I'm trying to shit stir.
Don't mind the flat earth.
Yeah, I know.
It's gone now. We lost it.
Right,
it's back.
Can you? Yeah, you can see that. Can you see my cursor at all?
No. Yeah, Bucket's just there.
No, so go on. Now I'll zoom in. So you mentioned Bremer Bay, Pete, and two of the places I really want to get to, and I mentioned it to you on the podcast, mate, was Esperance and Bremer Bay. Now, here we are down here, Bremer Bay. You guys are up here in Perth, obviously. Yeah. How long does it take to get? Do you come down through the middle to Albany and then come up to Bremer Bay from Albany?
I just come across
Albany Highway though.
Oh, geez, I don't know.
We set Google
to other spots.
We set Google Maps.
Yeah, I know. I'm horrible now.
So there's Bremer Bay. Bremer Bay's a lot closer to Perth than what Esperance is. Esperance is a bit of a haul. How long does it take to get to Esperance from Perth?
It's about 7 hours, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not as far as. Okay.
Nah. We're the opposite to you guys. It's actually not too bad.
Yeah, okay. I've been down to Albany, mate. That's a beautiful place too. And for those who don't know, that's where, Pete, I think I said this to you too when I was over there. Albany is where the Anzacs left from before they went to Gallipoli.
Oh, right.
They sailed out to Albany, mate, and there's some beautiful war memorials down at Albany.
Yeah, there is.
Down there, fellas. Some really good war memorials saying this is where the Anzacs sailed out of on their way over to Gallipoli and that. But Bremer Bay up here, my daughter sent me some photos from Esperance. Her and Buzzy went there a couple of years ago. The beaches there are absolutely amazing.
So that's pretty much that coastline from Albany the whole way to the South Australian border, like Eucla. There is just the most amazing four-wheel driving. It's not really well driven either, is it? Like every time I go down there, like around Bremer, Bilbunya,
I know, dude. I know
that Point Culver run.
You don't see anyone. No, and that because it's what would you remote?
It is pretty remote.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Well, yeah. For instance, like when I've done that, when I've gone across the Nullarbor and dropped down, it's Point Culver, isn't it? Near the border. Dropped down onto Point Culver and started heading back west towards Esperance. So we're talking 7 hours from Perth. I'll see less vehicles out there than I've seen on the Simpson Desert. You won't see a car for 3 days. On the Simpson Desert, you see a car every 3 hours. Wow.
Yeah, that's just amazing. Yeah, Israelite Bay is another place I've heard of. It looks. Have you been down there at all?
Yeah, that's near my number one down there for sure.
Is that right, Pete? Yeah,
it's incredible. There's a telegraph track that is not spoken of, isn't there?
Fisheries track.
Yeah.
Or Fisheries Road, isn't it?
What's the Bilbunya? Is that the biggest dune system in Southern Hemisphere?
Biggest by like land mass rather than height, I think.
Yeah.
Where's Bilbunya's sand dunes in relation to? From
Israelite Bay, go east.
Yeah.
So go up a little bit. Go up.
Is that them up in there?
No,
it'd be
go further up. Keep going. Keep going. This is going to be slow YouTube. Keep going.
I'll zoom
So
out.
maybe
that big white patch, I think. Yeah, that big white patch in the corner. That's around Point Culver. It's further south.
So yeah, southeast.
So that's Point Culver. So where you saw those cliffs start and the beach end, we've driven down there from the Nullarbor. You've done that same run, haven't you?
Yeah, man. Yep.
So
Caledonia.
Yeah. So from the Nullarbor, we've driven down to where the that would be the Baxter Cliffs, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Where the Baxter Cliffs end on the Nullarbor, and then driven the whole way back to Israelite Bay along the coast, which is past that Bill Bunyan dune system. It's an amazing run.
So you can drive all the way down Israelite Bay, and then you can go the coastway, can you? There's roads there that you can go all the way along.
Yeah. Well, tracks or roads. There's either or. You can almost pretty much go the whole way from the South Australian border to Albany along the beach if you're classy.
Yep.
Wow.
And what a trek, you know?
It's
honestly.
amazing.
Unbelievable. Look at the islands off Esperance. Have a look at them all down there. Just incredible.
Great fishing. No, I don't know.
The ocean's pretty wild down there. I don't know that I'd fancy doing too much boating off the southern coast.
Yeah, I remember when I drove over to Perth, we went across and some of those lookouts there in the Great Australian Bight, and you look down towards Antarctica, and it's pretty eerie looking out towards that Great Southern Ocean, isn't it? Really. Yeah. This I'll tell you where I went when I saw Lauren is this whole area here, fellas, the southwest around Bustleton and all that. Eagle Bay, Meerlip Beach. Have you been there at all? Meerlip Beach?
Yeah.
Meerlip Beach
No.
Cape Naturalist. Absolutely incredible. Canal Rocks. What a beautiful little
Canal Rocks, yeah.
And that's where...
it's a silent sea.
Yeah, people, there's a little bridge that goes across Canal Rocks and people swim through there. The ocean comes in and spits you out into the bay here. So you can actually, the water spits you out into that bay.
Yeah.
Canal Rocks with a silent sea, bucko.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, right. Not you, mate. The Brokeback Mountain Brothers. But this whole area, Western Australia there, that southwest, absolutely.
Have
you been to the Nannup Bakery?
Yeah.
Nannup, yeah.
How good's the Nannup Bakery? Pete,
pretty good.
Did you say did you used to live in Esperance, mate? Or was that, did you used to live up there?
Me?
Who, Pete or me?
No, mate, no. Oh,
Exmouth.
In Exmouth. Oh, did you say Exmouth?
Oh, I thought you said Esperance.
Okay, yep. So in Exmouth, we had we had a holiday house up in Exmouth, and that was years and years ago. And I reckon Exmouth, that was the golden era, you know, where it was all pretty much like a sand bowl, like there was bugger all up there.
Yeah.
But now it's like a freaking city.
Is it Exmouth? I reckon Brody's probably had a bit to do. Big Trav's on, actually. Big Trav's Adventures.
Oh, I saw Trav before. Bloody hell. What a legend that guy is, mate.
Big Trav. I want to have Big Trav on for a live feed next year.
Oh, that'll be good,
And,
yeah.
I had a quick chat with him at the 4-wheel drive show, and absolutely fantastic, Trav.
The biggest hands ever. It's like shaking hand with a baseball mitt.
He's a big dude.
Honestly,
that's for sure.
Yeah,
I don't think you'd like him angry.
He should be named the Gidgee Gorilla.
Yeah.
Is Queensland near Denver? No, it's not. Cam, some of your favourite places, mate, in West Aussie. I know you've been up there. Pete, you been to the Kimberley?
No, that's number 2 on my bucket list for sure.
Okay.
Yep.
So Kimberley still to come. I know, Cam, you've been up there, mate, and you rate it pretty highly, the Kimberley.
Yeah, I love the Kimberley. I love the Pilbara as well. I love the Gascoyne. A shark baby Gascoyne, wouldn't it?
I think so, yeah.
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 Pretty much anything north of Geraldton's pretty awesome. Oh, no disrespect to anyone south of Geraldton, but yeah, I love the warmer weather, and you know, the reefs and the fishing, and the beaches are beautiful up there.
Yeah,
it's pretty special country the whole way up. That's why I'm quite excited to see more of Queensland, because I suppose that sort of what we've got in the Kimberley is probably similar in terms of weather patterns and stuff to what you have in Queensland. Similar sort of vegetation, similar sort of fish life and that.
Don't expect the beautiful beaches in North Queensland that you have over there. It's I mean, there's some nice beaches in Queensland and that, but I don't think they shine a light to the ones over in West Aussie. That's why they call you sand gropers. Like, how many beaches are in Western Australia? You could take 20 years to see all the beaches over there. It's just absolutely incredible. What's coming up on the YouTube channels next year, fellas? We've got half an hour to go before I let you go. What's coming up on your street?
What were you saying?
I was just going to say, you know how when you and I caught up the other day, and I was talking about how it's bittersweet that your beaches in far north Queensland are stinking hot, it's humid, but you can't swim at most of them because you've got stingers or crocs.
Tell me about it.
It is sort of the same over here. Like, the most beautiful, pristine beaches we have, arguably, are on the southern coast, aren't they?
Yes.
Like around Esperance, Bremer, all those places we're talking about. But that's where it's cold. The ocean's a lot wilder. Like, it's hard to get in because there's just whitewash for 100 meters. And that's where the big great whites are just cruising up and down. And, like, I mean, every time you stick your drone up on those southern beaches, you see big sharks, eh?
Oh, definitely. But the Esperance is like the point where it goes nice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Fraser Island, everyone who puts their drone up on Fraser Island, you'll see sharks. That's another shark place. You don't go swimming on the east coast of Fraser Island, let me tell you. But yeah, mate. When I was in the army in Perth, a guy got hit by a great white at North Cottesloe Beach one morning in 2000, the year 2000, outside the Blue Duck Cafe, and he was dead before they got him to the beach. He lost his leg, and mate, sharks are a real thing over there, aren't they? I mean, there's been Gracetown and Margaret River and
Gracetown, yeah.
There was a thing on YouTube recently, not on YouTube, on the news. They were diving off Rockingham, some spear fishermen off Rockingham, which is only just south of Perth. Massive 5-meter great white came and paid them a visit at Rockingham. So they're around there everywhere in the southwest of Western Australia. And as soon as you get north, you got the tiger sharks and that. But it calls it up here, eh? Like, you don't see a lot of people swimming at the beaches up where I live. Yeah. Summertime, you've got the stingers, which are a real threat. You get hit by a box jellyfish, you're in. And it's just not worth. It's not worth taking the risk with a croc. Like, you've had a close call with that. You went in swimming, and that afternoon there was a croc spotted or whatever. Where was that? Where you said that was?
Oh, it was in Litchfield. Oh,
what's in the freaking paper?
It was Wangi Falls, but I think I pronounced that wrong. Is it Wongai Falls?
I don't know.
No, I'm being serious.
That was up in the territory, wasn't it? That one?
Yeah, Litchfield National Park. Yeah, so it was pretty crazy. We went there and it was packed because it was school holidays, so there was people everywhere, and there was like a little sort of natural spa pool up the other end of the waterhole, and Chloe wanted to go swim in it. But it was a really small space and there was heaps of tourists in there. And I said to her, I'll take you back first thing in the morning at sunrise, really early before anyone's out here, and we'll go for a swim ourselves. So I set the alarm for 5:30, and Chloe and I crawled out of bed and drove out to this waterhole. And there's no one around. And it was just, the sun's just coming up. So it was quite eerie. The water was freezing cold. And we're swimming out across, 50 meters or whatever to get to this little natural infinity pool. And Chloe said to me, "Oh, it's so crocky here, Dad." And I was like, "I'll climb onto my back if you want." So she's climbed on my back, and I'm swimming across. We had to swim in this little pool for a little bit. It is Wongai, your second pronunciation. Yeah. So anyway, and then I said, "Oh, I've had enough. Let's go. It's too creepy here." So we packed up and we've left. And that night on the news, there was a 2.5 meter saltwater croc that was in that pool, and it tagged someone hours after we'd left, when all the tourists flocked in. Yeah, and there was video footage of people clambering, trying to climb up the rocks to get away from this thing as it was cruising. Pretty scary stuff.
It had a crack at someone, did it?
It bit someone, it bit someone's arm, and the rangers went out there and had to shoot it.
Oh, you were swimming in there.
Yeah, so there were people climbing up vertical rocks trying to get away from it as it was swimming around. The rangers had to go across there in a tinny and rescue people off the rocks that couldn't swim back.
Freaking hell. Yeah, the Northern Territory, I wouldn't put my big toe in the water up there, mate. You just don't know where it's going to be. Hey, Elvin's on the adventuring.
Oh, Elvin, legend.
Hey, Elvin, he's travelling around at the moment, and bloody, I'll tell you what, his two young boys get to see this great country as well. Like, I don't know, a family that's just, his young fellas just getting such a great education.
Yeah, I love his channel. I love it.
You think? Pete, what's coming up on the channel next year, mate? What's in store for us?
Oh, geez, Buck. I'll be honest, mate. It's not much out of the ordinary. I'll be honest. It's just I just want to get better at what I'm doing. I want to get better at the filming part of it. I want to just improve on what I'm doing. I'm enjoying it, chilling out. Lots more podcasts and stuff like that. I love doing that. That's one thing I'm really enjoying. But don't know what the big trip will be yet. I'm doing something with Cam early next year. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to doing that because it's been a bloody while, isn't it, mate?
Yeah.
But apart from that, mate, no, just more adventuring. I don't know. I do not know. I'll take it day by day. It's almost like I don't know, can I swing a bloody Kimberley strip or something? I have a hookup up there. Benno from Kimberley Dreaming. I'd love to go and see him and do something up there, but it'd take a lot of planning, But pretty much just normal programming for me, mate.
You should come up to Kimberley while we're up
there. When are you going to be up there?
Well, when we're on our lap.
Probably. Are you just going up there first?
We're going to do the Kimberley again, yeah.
What time will you?
Oh, we'll chat off.
Let's talk about this.
Get your diary out.
Oh, mate.
Diary. Just on my diary, I'll just... No.
Your trips are great, Pete. You have a laugh. You go out with the boys, and I just wanted to say this because I haven't told you before, mate. You gave me this shirt, and there's a saying on the back, mate. It says, find your crew. Is it find your crew or whatever?
Shit, it's good to see you with pants on.
Yeah, I know. I'll tell you what, they're stuck to me too. I'm bloody sweaty. I'm in the air conditioning, still sweating, mate. It's hot up here at the moment. But Roz loves that saying, find your crew. And that's exactly what it's about, mate, is finding a good bunch of blokes and bloody going out with them and having a good time. I've never seen anyone on YouTube that just enjoys their trips, and your tinny trips especially, Pete. You can just see how much it means to you, mate, and how excited you get. You love being with a boy. I know you love your family and that, mate, but you also love your time with your close mates and that. And I think that's what we've got to do is find our crew. And I've got a great crew, as you know, too. This whole community thing is just getting tighter and tighter and tighter, and I think it's very important, mate. But just you going out and everyone, I don't know, just the vibes you give off of how you're enjoying yourself and being with your mates and having your cook-ups and that, it just bloody, everyone gets it, mate. They just get what you're about. And that's why everyone loves your channel, mate. It's bloody...
Thanks, Mark. That's me, mate. Thank you.
You love it, mate. And you're not putting it on. When you're out there, you can see how excited you are to be out there, having a cook-up, appreciating being out camping and all that type of stuff. And you just love it, mate. You love it. You can tell that you love doing what you're doing.
No, it's good. It's good. I think I've spoken about it enough with you, but it's the guys that I go with, they've changed my life. They truly have. You know about this. You got your close-knit crew as well. It can really change your life 100% without going into it too much. But yeah, I'm very lucky, and it'll be more. It's a nice feeling to know that you have the guys that they have your back. It's I don't know. And it's almost like I don't do the family stuff 100%. There's a different side to that. 100, it's beautiful, but with the guys, it's like, and you'd understand this 100% because we've had chats like that as well. But it's men's mental health. There's stuff that you talk about with your mates that even though you just don't talk about with your wife. Like there's a male camaraderie there that I don't think anyone will get. I've tried to explain it to my wife, and she's the most understanding woman on this earth. But you need to, you know, I don't know, you need to throw your arm around your mate and just talk about shit that only guys can talk about, you know. I'm sure there are a few blokes here who will understand that. But yeah, it is.
Sometimes it's
that's
just
what it is, dude. It is 100%. But it's a nice feeling when you find those like-minded mates, 100%.
Absolutely. And Cam, you surround yourself with some good mates too, and go out on the boys' trips and all that type of stuff. We know you've got a big trip coming up next year, mate. Tiff and the kids, you got the new caravan, the Cameron caravan, which, mate, I thought you might cop some flack over that, but it's been a very, very positive thing, you know. And you know why? You're up front right from the start, mate. You're up front from the start. That caravan, that company said, here, Cam and Tiff, take our caravan for 12 months and take it on a trip and let everyone know what you think about it. We're not paying for it. It's a loan and you're giving it back at the end. I think you were right up front about that, and that's why it's been taken so close. These people who get shit and they're not, what's that? Transparent, mate. I think you've got to be transparent on that. I think that's why it was taken as well. I said to him, I said, get the flak jacket on. It's going to come. But it was pretty positive, mate. Like, everyone's been positive. And, mate, great trip next year. What do you get, 12 months on the road in the new caravan?
Yeah, it'll probably be a smidge less than that. I think it'll end up being about 11 months, so we can get back and get the kids enrolled in school and stuff, and get settled in. But yeah, just touching on the van stuff. Yeah, I just think being up front from the get-go was the best way to do it, and then you can't be found out. Things can't come undone. So yeah, and it made a lot of sense for us. The other thing was, it's a Chinese import, and when you bought your Chinese import, you copped a bit of shit for that, and I thought I might get a bit of that.
Yeah.
But I think people that have been watching us for a long time would understand that it makes sense for us, because we've done it before. We had a Chinese van before that we paid for, that NDC, and that was a great van. So we wouldn't shy away from that.
No, good on you, mate, and absolutely fantastic. Make sure when you get over to far north Queensland and look us up, and we'll bloody fire the Jayco up, and we'll come out and have a camp with you somewhere. And,
yeah, we absolutely will.
Yeah, I'll give you a thing. Pete, your family, mate, when the little girls get a bit older, do you take the family out camping off camera at all, mate, or is it just something you do yourself? Does Sherry like to go camping, or will you take
absolutely, she does, but we're in that point of life, I think, right now where it's like it's a difficult. Well, you'd probably find it easy, but it's like, I think my wife at the moment likes sort of going to like a little B&B, a B&B, or a little, like a resort, like a little resort or something. That's making her sound very arrogant, but she's not like that.
She is. She's pretty arrogant.
A bit like that,
We've actually got this group chat going. Pete's other half, my other half, and us two.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be like it was a group chat to organise a caravan trip together, because I wanted these guys to rent a caravan and just do one trip with us, because I knew that if they did one with us, all the kids are playing, and you're comfortable. It's a little apartment on wheels. Nice. Yeah. I knew that the bug would get in, but I just haven't been able to lock it in. So, and I'm running out of time now.
What's the group chat called?
It's called the Never Van Club now, because it's been going for about 2 years, and they won't commit to a date to do it.
Who knows, Pete? It might be something. How we progress with our camping, and you go from a swag to the boys, and mate, who knows? Who knows?
When he grows up.
On the track. Yeah.
No, you're right. I'm the most open-minded bloke. I feel sometimes, that there are arms pulling me towards that. I look at, dude, I've sat in your van on Patreon gigs. I'm like, holy shit, this looks nice. I've dropped my guts in his van many a time. I think it's still in the fabric.
That's why I sold it.
Yeah. That should be so lucky.
Every time,
yeah.
Out of the cushion. Hey,
it smells like shelter and smash burgers.
That is literally what we're having tonight. Shelter and smash burgers.
Never say never. But
while I go and have a tinkle, let everyone know your rough itinerary, what you're doing next year, where you're going, where you're heading on your 11 months next year while I have a tinkle, and then we'll come back and we'll wrap up, eh?
Shit,
right.
you've done well to hold that, mate. Can I just say
yet.
that? Shit. Are you ready to go?
There is a puddle down there.
Oh, no, it's the worst, man. Oh,
Because I know
God.
we've got about 10 minutes to go, because I know you guys are going to have a barbecue tonight, and that will let you get away and start the barbecue up. And otherwise, the white. Hey, before I go,
Nearly bedtime over here.
Tim, are we ever going to see? Everyone's been hammering you about it in the comment section. Are we ever going to see a g'day everyone, Tiff Wild Touring? Are we going to see
Nah,
one?
never.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
She hates it. She thinks it's the cringiest
Everyone
thing.
up at the moment. Come on, Tiff, let's do it. I reckon that might be a good thing for a charity drive. And we'll talk about this soon. That could be a good charity thing coming up.
Yeah.
Tiff Wild Touring and get a bit of money for charity or whatever.
That'd break the internet.
There'd have to be some good donations to charity for that, I think. She finds it pretty cringy. That's why at the start of every video we're chuckling, because we've already had an argument about it.
Say it.
Just do it.
Please say it.
Is it something I know you say it every clip, but it was something you used to just say, Cam, without thinking about it, and it's just become a thing now? Or was it something you thought, I've got to have a quirky little intro to my clip?
Yeah.
So look, stay here for this
He wants me to do a real long answer so you can't get away for a week.
Look, Buck, if you don't mind just staying here for this one. Now we've got to talk to a computer chair.
We'll just talk to
I bet there's a lot of farts in that one.
I bet. I'll tell them about what my lap plans are.
Yeah, dude, let's do it. And your address?
Yeah. So we're heading off in late
That feels
February.
weird, doesn't it? Without him there.
I know. We're heading off in late February. We're going across the Nullarbor. I'm just going to talk to you.
Yeah, dude. No, good. Oh no, man.
And then I think we're probably gonna do like the Unadilla, and then back up through the Northern Territory up the Stewart Highway, and head into the East Kimberley. Do probably the Gib again from Kununurra, and that's what I'm saying. You could probably meet us and do.
Yeah, but how long will that be into your trip?
Couple of months.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah,
okay.
So, I don't know, June, something like that.
Are you timing it so that you can get up there at the ideal time?
Absolutely.
Yeah, beautiful.
But it's hard to time
that's
that,
a good one.
as these people would know. Trying to...
Gidgy, not just farts, Pete.
Yeah. Do not put a...
Wonder what else is in that chair.
Don't put a blue light in that room. Yeah. This is intimate, Maddie.
This is intimate.
Yeah.
Maddie likes intimate.
I saw a good comment up here. Right?
8:45 in Victoria.
I know. We've wrapped up now, Buck. So
thanks for coming on, mate. We appreciate you being here.
Wait, did you wash your hands? That was too quick to wash.
It takes me 10 minutes to have a piss now.
The old residual dribble. I know. There should be a whole podcast about that.
You wait till you blokes are nearly 60 and you start pissing down your shorts and
I hope we
I'm there now, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's more of a length issue.
Dribble. Yeah, no, Matty's saying dribble. Yeah, tell me about it, Matty.
He gets it.
It's shocking.
Mikey Nash, did you wash your hands?
The swag
think about it.
The giggle. It's infectious. And that's why everyone loves Pete, is because of that. Hey,
thank you.
Charity event. I know Cam's going away next year, Pete. What do you reckon in a couple of years, you two diddly donks? We talked about it when I was over west, mate. You two blokes, I reckon, grab the bull by the horns and get a West Aussie charity event going and continue on from, as I said, next year, the New South Wales boys are running a Camping with Mates event down around Newcastle. And then the year after that, Ed and Naz are running one in the high country in Victoria. Maybe we could run a West Aussie one with you two diddly donks bloody leading the charge, getting a few boys. I reckon a few of us in the thing here would get over for that one. I reckon it'd be absolutely.
I love that.
Yeah.
I reckon
Buck, are you getting over? Do you watch Now or Never, Alex and Aaron?
No, mate, I don't. No.
Oh, they're a family caravanning channel, and they're doing one over your way. I think it's called Camp for a Cure.
When's that on, mate? next year.
Yeah, next year. I'm going to miss it, unfortunately, because I've got to time that top end with the seasons. But that's one worth looking at.
Now or never.
Yeah,
and they're doing
for a tour.
These comments are going off well. Look, down the track, Australia. This chat is going off. That's in your voice.
Yeah.
That is literally in your voice.
He's a Queenslander.
Yeah. Queenslander!
Gidgy said he'd come across for that. It cost him $40,000 in fuel for the Ranger. Not the Ranger, the Raptor to get over there.
Hey, I reckon it could be like National Lampoon's Vacation. Cam can pick him up on his way back. We'll tie him to the top of the caravan. Nana! Nana.
I reckon that'll be a couple of years' time, Pete. I reckon you've got to do that. I reckon it would be.
I love that. Yeah, dude. For sure.
The following YouTube blokes that got on your YouTube channels to get stuff and that done for charity, I reckon it'd be an absolute fantastic event. As I said, I put the
I hope it would go off.
It'll go off all right. And I'll tell you what, I'd fly over to come to that one. I reckon it'd be an absolute.
Oh, magic buck. Awesome.
I call bullshit. You've been saying you'd come over and visit us for like the last 5 years.
Yeah, piss off.
I got over there a month ago and saw you. Next time I come over, we're going camping. We'll go our thing. Hey, speaking of camping, some of your favourite. This is one question I wanted to ask both of you. Your go-to meals when you're out camping around the campfire. Pete, I think I know what yours is going to be.
It's the same thing that's on the menu.
Finger pistols.
His go-to meal is the same thing that we're having for tea tonight.
That's all I've got.
Yeah. Smash burgers for tea.
Oh, so it was smash burgers. Yeah.
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 You like your tacos, but Pete?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Fish tacos, the birria tacos. That's the go-to on your channel.
It's expensive though when you actually have to pay for fish.
That's sad but true.
Yeah. Paying for whiting like a moron.
Yeah.
And as I was saying on the podcast, mate, you're the envy of every YouTuber. You've got a butcher on board and a brewery on board. Cam, I am jealous.
I'm going to pay for my own beer like a sucker.
How many subscribers or how many views? He's got free piss and free meat. How good is that?
I know, I'm jealous. I tell him all the time I'm envious.
Yeah.
It's just because I'm not a guy. And I'm a good kisser.
Yeah. Dave, the butcher, isn't he? Is that his name, Dave?
Yeah, Dave-o, yeah.
Just say, mate, I'm going away on the weekend and you tell him what you want, or he makes some suggestions to you, or you tell him what kind of cook up you want to do?
I definitely meal plan, that's for sure, for like weekenders. And I'll just say, oh, Dave-o, I'm thinking of doing these meals, mate. And, I'll need 2 chicken breasts or something like that. And he's mint, honestly. I'll say to him, can I get like 500 grams of bacon? And he'll just throw a bunch more. Blue Dog 10. Pete's got good knee pads. No, I've got strong knees. I'm not down there for long. You'd know.
He's a brickie. He can hold a squat for half a day.
This must be one of your guys. Robin the Travelling Snags. There's one of your followers there. So a lot of West Aussie names on there tonight that aren't used on my thing there. Cam, what's some of your go-tos, mate? I know you're doing the steaks. What are the sous vide steaks now? You're mint like that, man. How good is that? Like sous vide them up to 60 degrees or whatever, and then just finish them off on the the sizzle up on the thing, and you reckon they come out beautiful. I've got to try that. I've got to try that method. I haven't tried it.
You do have to try it. It was our mate Dean.
Dino.
We did a tinny trip years ago, and Dino come along, and he's a qualified chef. And he brought these vacuum sealed steaks that he'd already sous vide at home. Yeah. And he just, flash fried them for us straight on the fire. Took all of 30 seconds, and you were eating like restaurant quality steak. So that got me thinking like 2 years ago, and I was like, I've got to give this a crack. So I finally got around to giving it a go, and it's amazing.
Yeah. Have you got the proper sous vide machine, or do you just do them in a sauce, but like simmer them away in a saucepan and that?
I started just heating some water and using a temperature probe in an esky, because the esky will hold the temperature. for at least 2 hours, and that's long enough to do like a basic sous vide. But I did end up buying one of those sous vide sticks, so you just get your bucket or your camp oven or whatever, and you can stick it on the side, plug it into your inverter, and let it rip.
Oh, wow. Absolutely. So what's Kane Higgins going on about Tommy? Kane, you diddly donk. Kane's gone out. Oh, here I did.
Yeah, you got rid of that comment real quick.
Yeah.
Pissed it off.
Kane, he's the diddly donk from Serena, I call him. He's going on about Tommy Rhodonicus's cattle dog call, which was a state of origin thing many years ago. And the cattle dog call was, if anyone yelled out cattle dog, it meant it started an all-in brawl. That's back in the day.
Oh, that's wicked.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day, you're allowed to actually throw a punch in rugby league. Yeah.
Hey, Bucko, Cam had a worry tonight that you were going to mention like rugby and ask his opinion.
I don't follow any. I think we talked about this. I don't follow any sport. It makes it really hard on a building site or a workplace to make small talk when you don't follow any code.
Not even the Aussie rules.
No, I didn't grow up with it, so it just never stuck. I've never been a good team player.
You grew up with like badminton, maybe
Shuttlecock.
Yeah, shuttlecock.
No, I never played that.
Hey, yes,
Yeah, Cam was into his ballet.
I used to be into the rugby union. Is the Western Force still a team over there in the rugby union?
No, I think they are, but I think like WA rugby, like I think it's fizzled off a little bit. I don't follow it much though, but
yeah. What's your team, Freo or the Eagles, Pete?
Mine's actually Adelaide Pros. Like if I'm gonna follow a team, I'm not that much into it, but I like Adelaide Pros because I used to love Mark Rasciuto.
Oh, okay. So there you go. They're coming out of left field.
Yeah, anyway, it is.
It is just turned 8 o'clock here in Queensland, 6 o'clock WA time, and bloody 9 o'clock. Everyone's bedtime down there in Mexico and Tasmania. So I said I'd only go for 2 hours, fellas. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. I know you've got to get out and do some smash burgers, Pete. Bloody Merry Christmas.
It's a hard life.
Yeah, someone's got to do it. Merry Christmas to you and your families, fellas.
You too, Buck. You and Roz. Have a great Chrissy.
Yeah. No, that's you. And we'll see you again next year, and really looking forward to seeing what your YouTube channels throw up, and just keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing because everyone loves your channels and that. Pete, you going out doing all the stuff for the boys. Cam, good luck on the big trip next year, mate.
Cheers, mate. We'll see you on it.
Yeah, you'll see us over here, mate. Safe drive and have a safe trip. And I hope everything goes really well with the new van and whatever. And boy, oh boy, you're going to get some good content out of it. That's for sure.
Yeah, hopefully. Cheers, Buck, and thank you for having us, mate. Appreciate it.
Absolute pleasure. It's I'm just so glad you've come on and had a chat with us. So give them
mate. Sorry, dude. It's good to see you back, mate. It's good to see you back on the YouTube again.
Yeah, it is.
Get this get your jibber jabbers on audio format for a bloody podcast. And thank you so much to everyone in the chat. Really can't thank you all enough. Have a great bloody Chrissy and stay safe.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, guys, and thanks for the laugh. We've had a good giggle at it.
Absolutely.
Thanks, and to everyone out there, people overseas and all around this great country of ours, thanks for tuning in and having a chat tonight. Sorry, guys, I didn't get to see a lot of the comments, but I'll tell you what I do, fellas, is tomorrow I'll sit down and I watch it over again. Not watching us. I actually go through the comments, and I know there were some funny ones coming up tonight, so I missed a lot of it because I'm too busy watching you guys. So, sorry, there was one more question I wanted to ask you two, and I forgot, and I'm not letting you go until I ask it. Is doing live feeds something that we could ever see from either of you two? I think you should be great at it.
I shit myself when it comes to lives. But you've helped me get more confidence for sure. I reckon you'll be a different answer.
Yeah, I would never. I'm a control freak. I like to control. I like to be able to do edits and chop bits out because I say dumb shit all the time. All the time, to be honest.
And you do. Doing a live feed, it's hard. You've got to try and think on your feet. You've got to keep the conversation flowing. It's been great with you guys tonight because I just asked you a question and you guys go. But sometimes you can have a guest on that gives you a three-word answer, and it's like, oh shit, and you got to think on. You got to keep the conversation going. It's something
that's one thing I notice you and Pete, and I envy it. I see you guys, like, while someone's answering the questions, you guys are already thinking of the next thing to ask.
Yeah, Bucko, you're unreal at that.
But you're still listening, and you can still, ask a follow-up question or whatever. And I think that's a real skill, and I don't think I could do that.
One good thing about live feeds is if you are struggling for some questions, if you're looking in there, a lot of great questions come up in the thing. Pete, I reckon, I know Cam said he won't do it. Pete, I know you're brilliant at podcasting.
He'd do it if we did it together, right?
Yeah, together. I'm just not by myself.
Oh, mate, your community love it.
Oh, this is why Pete won't do it. Down the track in Australia, give Pete time to filter out his red face a bit.
So I'm just going to turn this light off. That downs the pink. Oh shit, that didn't help.
No, it didn't help.
That's it. There's a mate of mine, Tofty.
Hey, thanks for highlighting that comment, though. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for making him blush on top of it.
They call Tofty the tomato man because he always looks red when he comes on the camera as well. They call him the tomato man. And that.
Thanks, Buck. I hope that one sticks too, mate. That's me.
I reckon you should give it a go one night. Go live and just give it a go. I reckon you'd be good at it, mate. And I reckon the people would love it. And you just pick the subjects, camping, all that type of stuff. You've got the community there behind you too, mate, that would chime in. And I reckon it'd be absolute thing. But, mate, thank you so much for the podcast the other day. What a positive response to that.
I know, mate. Yeah, I thank you for that.
Yeah, no, it's going really well. I've had a really good comments, not only from my community, but from guys in your community as well, mate, that are saying, Buck, that was bloody brilliant and that. And I'm so proud. And I said, Pete's a great interviewer. And you did, mate. You asked the great questions and all that type of stuff. And keep doing what you're doing. All right, guys, go and bloody cook them smash burgers. Love to the family.
You piss off too.
Again soon. Good night, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your week.
Thank you, everybody.
Cheers, Buck. Cheers, guys.
Thanks.
Piss off. Piss off, Buck.